Welcome in to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at College Football Dogs. Let's get rock hard. All right. In case you missed it, Weezy came out as a perfect child. Well, welcome into Rock Hard Ball, episode 22 here. Thank you all for joining us. As you can see there, we got the show rundown coming up. Week 0 recap, an oh-no moment for Florida State here right away as we go into the college football season. We got our Big 12 predictions today. We'll take a look ahead to the early Week 1 games, a.k.a. the games that are going to be being played Thursday night. So we'll take a look at those ones since we won't get a chance to preview them before that since, our show's not on till 9. And then we'll finish up with Rock Hard Takes, Kelly's Kinky Rankings. And then there will also be a little bit of just general kind of NFL, college football news type of stuff. Just only 5 slots, so couldn't quite fit on the graphic, but we'll talk about some of that stuff that's been going on as well. So first things first, we're going to get into is the Week 0 recap. So here's the scoreboard. Obviously, the big ones, Georgia Tech defeats Florida State by a final score of 24-21. We'll talk about that one more in depth here in a second, because obviously that's the one big game that we talked about to kind of look forward to, and it did not go the way we thought it would. So Montana State, shout out. We talked about how it was, big respect by the bettors and stuff like that to, put them as large favorites against New Mexico. Didn't end up winning by as much as they were favored by, actually, but they, got out that 4-point win in interesting fashion, too. They ended up scoring right at the very end of the game. They were down by, do you remember what it was? Like 2 or 3 scores at halftime, I think.
I want to say it was 2.
Yeah. And they ended up coming back. They outscored them 21-0, I think, in the fourth quarter, including scoring a touchdown with like 8 seconds left on the clock. So shout out Montana State and the FCS there. NDSU still owns you, but you know what? Congrats on the dub. SMU takes down Nevada 29-24. That was a game that we thought was probably gonna be a lot more lopsided. I know I, for one, said that I would have bet the over there, 55.5. Obviously, got close, but no cigar. As it comes in just a couple points short, but maybe not quite the statement win that they were looking for as they move into a Power 4 conference, like we kind of talked about. But win's a win. It's Week 0. Things are rusty, so good to always get out with a win. And then Hawaii defeats Delaware State in a game that I have to imagine maybe 4 people in the country watched because it was like pay-per-view, I'm pretty sure, to watch this game. Hawaii was favored by like 40.5, which we correctly called was not going to happen.
Shot.
Really, I mean, Delaware State, got even a couple scores on them. So over-under for that one must have been, close?
I think it was 60-ish.
Yeah, so I guess not quite, but I think every single under hit, right? No, Montana State and Mexico had gone over, but 3 out of 4 hit unders. So good take by Weez. I think you said it last week, Week 0 or Week 1 under is usually a pretty good bet. Then as you see on the last one, I said the fellas, I kind of misremembered. It's kind of more just Karter did not do well. I took Florida State minus 10.5, and I took the SMU game to go over. Both those games didn't go well. Obviously, FSU was a massive miss, but SMU, it was close, but again, no cigar. So not playing horseshoes.
I only had one bet, so but hey, 1-0, Week 0, we're gonna take that every single time.
With an asterisk, of course. Weez actually did put a real bet on Florida State minus 10.5, and that did not hit. He didn't preview it in the show, so that's okay because you didn't take it as one of your favorite bets. But honesty. Come on, honesty.
That did not have to get out.
It got out. So we're honesty podcast.
Well, I rode
here
with you. I was like, I'm gonna tail my boy. And I'm down money because of it, but over well.
Is sports gambling legal in Nebraska? Yes, kind of. Not exactly, but there are ways. Casinos, you can bet in casinos in Nebraska, but you can't use like FanDuel, DraftKings. But Fliff, for anybody who doesn't know what that is, really great app that somehow just bypasses the betting rules because they give like a free $1 each day. So it's technically like a giveaway service. I think that's how they get around it, right?
I think it's because they advertise because they call it Fliff dollars, not actual U.S. currency, but it's a 1-for-1 exchange and value. So I don't know how they get around it, but I mean, Fliff still is awful. Their lines are god awful.
It's really bad.
That's their advantage though, to being the only book, if quote unquote book in states that don't have online gambling. So all right, so that's the overall gist. But let's get into the real, one that people care about, and that's the Florida State Georgia Tech game. So basically, the question is it time to panic for Florida State? They came out, didn't look good. DJ Uiagalelei, in particular, did not look good in this game against Georgia Tech. Hats off to Georgia Tech. We're not going to, just completely say this is all on FSU being bad. I think Georgia Tech was expected to be a, somewhat solid team. Florida State was the 10th team in the country, and they were only favored by 10. which isn't a crazy line. So, Weez, what do you think? Is Florida State, is this a reason to maybe, freak out, like playoffs immediately in jeopardy? Or
immediately freak out? No, but you have to be worried. Like, let's just talk about DJU. I can't say his last name. I don't know why. He was awful, like really, really bad. So if that's like a little short flash what we're going to get all year long, then it's time to worry.
Yeah. Obviously, it's not the same as past years in terms of like a loss doesn't kill your playoff chance. But yeah, the bigger thing is it's just concerning. The defense was not great early. Really the whole game, I guess they weren't particularly stellar. But everyone kind of thought that, like, especially at that first half, like, okay, Georgia Tech's handing it around, like Florida State will probably eventually, kind of run away with this game, though. It just didn't happen because DJ Uiagalelei just did not. I'll just start calling him DJU too because it's just so long to say it. DJU just did not play good at all. Couldn't push the ball downfield. Was a check down merchant. You look at his box score; it doesn't look awful. He went 19 for 27, 193 yards, but he had no passing touchdowns. And again, like he just wasn't really throwing the ball downfield at all. So I think that's probably the bigger concern for Florida State right now. It's just that obviously, again, it's week 0.
It was like the third quarter, and his yards per attempt was like -0.1.
Yeah, that's not a good look, and it's not going to sustain success in the ACC. Obviously, we both picked them, or no, I picked them to win it. You picked them to finish runner-up in the conference, but I think we both thought that they'd be, either playoff team or borderline playoff team. And again, I'm not saying that the season's over for them, but I think it's definitely cause for concern a little bit that they came out this flat against a Georgia Tech team who's solid, but they're not any type of contender, I don't think.
But let's also give them their flowers. I really liked Haynes King. Like he ran angry for a quarterback. I like that. I feel like there's so many times where he was swallowed behind the line, but nope, it's a 4-yard gain.
Yeah. Jamal Haynes too. Love that too, by the way. The backfield's Jamal Haynes King.
Yeah.
He also had a good game. He had 11 carries for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a long one for 36. Yeah, they looked good. The backfield, which I think most people knew. If you didn't, that's kind of what's expected to drive the Georgia Tech team this season, is a dynamic backfield who's experienced. And we talked about Haynes King a little bit, in the preview too. It's like he is a legitimate quarterback in the ACC. Yeah. He's probably within that top 5 or something. He led the league in passing touchdowns, and I think maybe yards too last season. He just also led it in picks. So, maybe a little bit of a turnover issue, but he didn't have it against Florida State. So, the big win on the season for Georgia Tech. It might end up being their biggest win if Florida State ends up, figuring things out. But
also, like DJ, he was the first overall coming out of his class, right, in high school?
Yeah. Are you talking about that thing on Twitter?
Yeah. Well, because it's like he's in year 5, right? Or he might be.
Yeah.
He might be year 4. But 3 different teams, year 5, and it's still like, come on.
Yeah, and it's not even like he's been like super bad though in any place. He just never has gotten to that level that like everybody keeps expecting. Like he came in
at Clemson though, was like
Trevor Lawrence like got hurt, right? And then I think he played one year when Trevor Lawrence got hurt.
He played his second year. His second year, did good, and then third year he did okay.
Well, the whole thing with him too is kind of like, obviously if you watch college football, you didn't forget about him, but like he was at Clemson, like big star there, obviously, because that's when Clemson was still expected to be national title contender. Leaves, joins Oregon State. Nobody really is paying attention to him. Now he's back in the limelight, trying to, Florida State team that was in the big media headlines last year, and not a good start.
Yeah, and we talked about it all the time in the preview. It's like, coming out with a vengeance. They got left out of the playoff. And again, they bring in DJU, who was expected to be good. He had a really good year at Oregon State. It was his best college year by far. But obviously, just a little bit weaker competition. Now he just struggles here in the opener for Florida State. The thing I was mentioning about Twitter, though, that's kind of funny about DJ, and it's, we do it every year with quarterbacks who've gotten older and, bounce around a little bit. It was like they showed the rankings and it was like number 1 in the class was DJ, who now, again, on his third team, whatever it is, 5 years, something. Number 2, CJ Stroud, who's the reigning rookie of the year in the NFL and like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. So it's just crazy how much these guys' just career trajectories can change within a matter of 3 or 4 years. It's really always interesting to look at, I think. But yeah, Florida State, we'll see if they can bounce back. Weezy, your Clemson picks looks a little better now, though, going forward. So we'll see if they can get things back on track. Definitely something to keep an eye on going forward. Next thing we'll get into, we'll do Big 12 predictions next. So what we got going on there is, that's still the rundown. My bad. Big 12 predictions, our last power conference that we have for the predictions going into the season. Obviously, week 0's happened now. But you got to do what you got to do. So Big 12, here it is. There's been no Big 12 teams that have played, so that's all right. As you can see, same thing as usual. Category: champion, title game, coach of the year, disappointing team, surprising team, and the worst team in the conference in both of our opinions. Done Big Ten, we've done SEC, we've done ACC. We're not going to do the group of fives, but this is the Big 12. So we'll start from the top, per usual. Very chalk from both of us, but I mean, we'll still talk about it a little bit. Both of us have Kansas State and Utah, and we both have Utah winning it. What's the thought process for you? Why do you think these two teams are the best?
I mean, I just think we'll talk about Utah first. If Kim Rising stays healthy, I think they're the clear cut. He's been there before, experience. I like Winnington as a coach. Again, it is though weird for the first time in forever that like there is like a bunch of like teams that who shouldn't maybe be in this race who are going to be in this race, like Kansas, for example. So it'll be interesting. Like there's a very good chance Utah does not come out of here. There's a good chance Kansas State that like I think it could be anybody's conference.
Yeah, definitely the most wide open, I'd say, out of the power conferences. Like Big Ten, like yeah, there's teams that are going to be like competing for it, but at the same time, I think everybody kind of knows it's between Ohio State and Oregon when it comes down to it. But yeah, Michigan, Penn State could maybe make things interesting. And then like SEC, like same thing. Everybody knows it's going to be Georgia and Texas, but there's a couple teams in there that could again make things interesting. Alabama's still there. ACC, maybe not as much now, but I mean Clemson, we haven't seen them play yet. They're supposed to be very good. And then we have obviously Florida State, who was ranked 10th in the country coming in the year, but they just dropped a game. So maybe the ACC will be more interesting than we think. But yeah, Big 12, you have Utah, Kansas State, like we mentioned. Oklahoma State should be a real contender in the conference still. You mentioned Kansas might be better than people think. I have Iowa State down here. I don't know if they'll quite be a contender in the conference, but they should be a solid team. Lots of teams, though, all over the place now that are interesting and can compete because obviously they lost the big dogs who ran the conference for years.
I think you'd also agree with me. Like Kansas State also depends a lot on Avery. What do you expect from him? Obviously, Will Howard's gone. Avery Johnson's the guy.
I mean, I don't know. People seem to like him. I don't really know enough about him.
Yeah, neither do I, but everybody's saying his ceiling's supposedly incredibly high.
Yeah, like I've seen like some people even mention he might be like a dark horse, like Heisman candidate. Yeah. So, I mean, if he's as good as advertised, then yes, I think that Kansas State will absolutely be in the running for the conference title, maybe even win it all. And then I'll kind of move into a little bit of my next point here too, coach of the year. I think Chris Klieman's a really, really good coach. And again, maybe a little bit of a homer pick. I grew up in North Dakota, grew up an NDSU fan. That's where he comes from. But I mean, he led them to national titles, built a hell of a program, comes to Kansas State, and pretty much hit the ground running. They were good immediately when he got there. It wasn't like it was a bad program when he was arrived, but still, they haven't faltered. If anything, they've just gotten better underneath him as the years have gone on. And they actually, people kind of forget Kansas State's kind of been here a little bit before. I mean, they've been in some Big 12 title games already with Chris Klieman at the helm. So they know how to, win. They know how to get there. And so basically the reason I put him at coach of the year too is just like, I usually like to go with the coach of the year. That's probably, a title game coach. But I just think that Utah probably still is the slightly more talented, roster and has a little bit of the better quarterback or the proven quarterback anyways. So, I think would be a little bit more impressive for them to get to the title game and maybe win the conference. Yeah. So
I'm going to go Lance and Kansas here just because I think they do return, a great amount of that roster. They were good last year. I think they're going to be good this year. And I think he's a good chance to even win some like hardware if he can take this Kansas team to 11 wins is probably too much. But like if he can get to 10, maybe get to 11, I think he has a good chance to be the coach of the year.
Yeah. Good pick. Same thing. Yeah. All right. Disappointing. Let's get to that. So you have Colorado. I have UCF. I'll just kind of do mine first. My UCF thing is almost entirely based on like a name brand type thing. Like, because I think for like people who are a little bit more casual fans, ever since UCF had the fake national title in like 2018, I feel like people just kind of always thought that they were like one of the best group of 5 teams in the country. And yeah, they were one of the better ones for quite a while. But now it's kind of a bad time for them to go to the Big 12 because I think this is probably one of the worst rosters that they've had in the last few years. So it's just not a good time for them to make the jump. But I still think like people are going to see UCF and be like, oh, watch out for UCF. Like they might be a dark horse in the Big 12. They're not going to be. The roster is just not the same this year. So I don't think they're going to compete like people think they might. So
yeah, I have Colorado just because it's obviously it's not our fault. It's like the media's going to shove them down our throats again. They have the quarterback. Shedeur Sanders is good, whether you like him or not. They have the skill talent. They're really bad in the trenches. Like we've known this. That's why they lost a shit ton of games last year. Like, I don't know. What do you think their ceiling is, Colorado?
Without their schedule in front of me, it's kind of hard to pick. But I mean, based off talent alone, I don't think they really hardly like. What have they done to get better from last year?
No, nothing.
And last year, 4-8 in a Pac-12 conference that wasn't anything stellar. Obviously, they get a little bit of a break being the Big 12, which again is probably the worst of the power conferences this year. But yeah, no, I don't think they win more than probably 4 or 5 games. I would be surprised if they're bowl eligible unless their schedule is way softer than I think it is. But I mean, if their schedule is even somewhat trying, then I don't think they make a bowl game. I don't think they're that good.
I think like 6-6 is a good year.
I mean, it should really a lot of it should prove too. I don't remember what it is. I looked at it the other day, but it's like the Nebraska-Colorado line. Like obviously, everybody thinks Nebraska's going to win that game, and I think for good reason. Like even Vegas, I think the line for that game is like 10, maybe 12 points, something like that. And Nebraska, even still, like they're expected to be better this year, but a lot of Nebraska's like record predictions is based off the fact that their schedule is very light. Like I'm not going to sit up here and like act like I think Nebraska is like a legitimate like playoff contender. Like yeah, they might actually have a high ranking at a point during the year because they'll win a lot of games just from a light schedule if they end up being good. But they're still like a year or two away from being a legitimate like threat to make the playoff and be a good team. And so that alone should tell you still like, yeah, Nebraska went 5-7. They're still favored to beat Colorado pretty handedly. Yeah, it's at home, but still, that doesn't really shed good light on Colorado either, I don't think.
And how much is Colorado down in the dumps if they start 0-2, which we've talked about is very, very possible.
Well, that and then like we have like the Dion just whole thing too. It's like Shadur and Travis Hunter are gonna be gone after this year. Obviously last year was not good. They won 4 games after, becoming the nation's darlings for beating TCU team, who was a shell of its former self, early on in the year. And then Dion just constantly made bad headlines this offseason. We'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I don't really know what his plan is going forward, because I don't like Colorado will never have the balls to fire him no matter how bad they're doing. Like if they win 4 games again this year, they're still never going to fire Dion because he brings too much attention from a brand standpoint.
Yes.
But in terms of like going up to a better job, which I think was the whole reason the Colorado job was ever taken, I just don't see it now. Like I don't think
who would want the offer,
because like the bigger teams with big brands, they don't need Dion. They don't need him to give you media attention. No. It's just not necessary.
Like I don't understand. Like I get the whole like they were 1-11. Like 4-8 is an improvement, and they might improve 4-8 this year. But it's like no like true blue blood is going to offer that guy a job.
No, and just the way he's trying to build teams too is not sustainable.
There's no culture there.
No, there's no culture. The culture that is there is just apparently very toxic from everything that we've heard.
If you don't play well, pack your bags. You're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Which like, hey, let's develop people. Which also tells me he's not in there for the long haul.
Yeah, no, I mean Dion from like every facet of how he is as a coach and like as a person is like the exact like opposite of Matt Rule, and I love it. Like Nebraska media has been very fond of Matt Rule, but I'm still right there with him and all Nebraska fans. Like I think he has done just a great job of he handles himself very well at the mic. He's not disrespectful to his opponents or the media. He is obviously building a culture and a program. I don't know if you guys have watched it much, but like the Chasing 3 like documentary stuff that they have on YouTube going on right now with Nebraska. Like those episodes just fire me up. Like Matt Rule just talking to the team.
I think Matt Rule's
like he's a leader of men.
He's a top 10 speaker in college football.
Yeah, he's like great.
Let's talk about like Dan Lanning's. I would say is number 1. Probably.
Yeah, he's good.
Like Matt Rule's up there for sure.
Yeah, no, he's very well spoken, and I know that doesn't equate to wins, but at the same time, maybe it does because we've seen him do it at Temple and at Baylor.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I think that's definitely the way to build a program. He's said it before. Like we want to bring guys in, develop them. Then they'll go out, they'll shine, then they'll move on. But Dion he just wants to pump guys in and out. And then just, it's like, he's always says, come here, make a brand for yourself and go to the NFL. Can't go to the NFL if you're playing on a shitty team every year. And it's like, yeah, elite talents like Shadur and Travis Hunter will shine because they're good enough already that they don't need the development. But if you're like some like, I don't know, kind of like lower tier, like 4-star who doesn't really already have like a name and like isn't already seen as kind of like a clear elite talent, why the hell would you go to Colorado? No. Like, yeah, they're going to pump you all over social media, but that doesn't make an NFL team draft you.
No, and then like your teammates are going to talk shit about you if you're like on the offensive line while they're streaming video games. It's like, I don't want to be there.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous situation.
Especially being an O-lineman there and your quarterback and star receivers. God, our O-line is
that's really bad.
Awful. It's like, dude.
Yeah, just not a good look overall. And again, that's coaching, that's culture, and just obviously doesn't exist because they let the stars run amok and do whatever they want. So yeah, it's just not a good look, I don't think. Again, maybe we'll touch on that again later when we talk about Dion some more for his recent headlines. But let's wrap up with the Big 12 predictions here. Surprising teams. I mean, we've already kind of both touched on these, but Iowa State again, not a whole lot of like super special going on there, I don't think. But just a team who's, I think, a little bit under the radar. Like, people know that they'll be like a solid team, but good coach, proven coach, with a roster that looks like it should be competitive. And again, they might like borderline contend for the conference title in a conference that's now weakened. So again, it's not, I'm not going to pick somebody that's like, okay, everybody thinks this team's going to win 4 games, and I think they're going to win 9. No, Iowa State's a team I think most people think wins, maybe 6 or 7 games. I think they might be more like an 8 or 9 win team. So
yeah, I can buy that. And then I already hit on Kansas.
Right, yeah,
way too much.
Yeah, no, they are exciting though. Jalen Daniels, electric. Him alone just makes Kansas exciting, especially for a team that just has been very bad.
And then we can just co-hit on Houston here. They're going to be bad. They were bad last year. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, I don't even really know who else is supposed to be bad in that division or that conference. Like Cincinnati, I think maybe is supposed to be kind of bad.
I think so. Yeah.
It's kind of another one that's almost similar to like UCF, where it's probably like people see them, it's like, oh, Cincinnati, like they've been in the Big 12 already for whatever, a year, I think.
I think it's been a year.
But still, like, this isn't Cincinnati that made the playoff as a Group of 5 team, not even close. Coach is different, which is a big thing.
Quarterback's
Fickle's gone. Yeah, quarterback's different. They don't have a guy who's a top 3 corner in the league anymore. So yeah, a lot of differences from that team to this team. So they're just, I don't think they're going to be a real threat in the Big 12. All right, that's Big 12 predictions. Let's go to a little bit of early like week 1 predictions. Talk about what we think is going to happen here. Again, looking at the Thursday games that are coming up here in college football. So the big one, obviously, it kind of sucks. We feel like we've talked about them so much already in the show, but Dion and the boys will be playing the boys from NDSU in a game that, or is that Friday?
Thursday.
Okay, no, it is Thursday. I was making sure because I thought I was tripping for a second. Okay, yes, that is Thursday. That should be probably the biggest game of the weekend. I think that one that everybody's probably most excited for. Again, NDSU, for those who don't keep up with FCS, is a powerhouse. They're not quite the same team that they used to be, but they're still expected to be probably a top 3 team in the FCS this season, compete for a national title. And they have a history of just beating FBS programs too. They've beat plenty of big time opponents on the road, obviously on the road, but I think that they're going to beat them. I think a lot of other people do too. I think Colorado's still favored in the game. They're 10-point favorites, but
over under 60.
I would smash NDSU plus 10 at the very least, and I'd maybe even take money line. Again, maybe I'm getting homerish here, but I just don't trust Colorado. And NDSU has a program that's built to go in and beat opponents that should be better than them. So that's my thoughts on the game. I don't know what you
it's just massive. Anything. Obviously, Dion's talked about like how it's no layup, and he's kind of pissed, as like jokingly that like we have to play them. Yeah, you should be pissed. Like this is a like you can't snooze your way. Wake up late like the season started, because if you do that, you're going to lose. I don't know if they lose, but I think 10's maybe a little too much.
Yeah. Let's see here. Probably the biggest game between 2 teams that should actually be like competitive is going to be North Carolina, Minnesota. That one's only a 2-point spread. It's in Minnesota, so they get a little bit of a bump for that. I think UNC is still favored, but I think UNC is expected to be a solid team like per usual in the ACC. I don't think they're going to be quite as good as they have been in the past. Probably no NFL level quarterback this year.
Well, we'll see about that.
I guess.
Feel like they always roll one out.
Yeah, it does seem like that way. But obviously, Drake May's gone, so we'll see how they kind of adjust with that. Minnesota, though, expected to not be, they're supposed to be one of the worst teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah, this one's interesting because they lost a lot for a Minnesota team. So,
but PJ Fleck always just wins the dumbest game. Like especially this like Thursday night. People aren't necessarily paying real close attention. It is on national television, but it's like oh, like Minnesota and North Carolina playing Thursday. Like let's get football started, and then PJ Fleck comes out there and somehow squeaks out like a 13-10 victory. Wonder who that happened to last year.
Yeah. It's like it's in August too. Somehow it's gonna be like 62 degrees like by halftime. It's like why are people cold? And then it's just a trap game. No, I do like North Carolina here, despite it being at Minnesota. But
yeah, no, I mean I think they're the far better team. So that should really be the only thing they get to look at in the long run. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot of other like games I don't think that are particularly interesting for this first kind of week. One that might be close. I actually haven't really looked into them as much this year, but giving the FCS teams a lot of love here lately. Sacramento State was really good last year in the FCS. I don't know how much they brought back for sure, but I know they were a team that was, I think they were like a top 4 seed in the playoffs, I think last year, something like that. I don't remember how far they actually ended up going, but they play San Jose State on the road. That might be a decent game. That one's a late game. So if you're still up for it, then maybe tune in. Outside of that, I don't know, Weez, if you have the slate pulled up, but I don't know
I mean, other ranked teams are in action. Utah plays on Thursday against Southern Utah.
Yeah,
I think that spread is massive. It's not pulled up for me right now. And then I believe there's one. Kansas also plays Lindenwood.
Oh yeah.
So just a bunch of 50-point spreads.
Yeah, exactly. There's not really competitive games. I mean, week one's going to be like that a lot. Obviously, there'll be better, games on Saturday, and then even on Friday there might be a couple. I don't know.
Sunday.
I haven't really looked, but Sunday, yeah, Sunday has a good one.
So, great one on Saturday, but we'll save that for Thursday.
Yeah, we'll save the full week one preview for Thursday, like we just said, because obviously need something to talk about. So, yeah, we'll talk about that on Thursday, and then hopefully Colorado gets beat on Thursday too, so we can just lay in a Dion a little bit more.
We'll be watching the end of that one live.
Yeah, we'll probably have this one on the TV. That's right here in the studio as we get going for the show on Thursday. So yeah, that's when we'll kind of talk about those games. But that's going to be it for now. We'll just talk Thursday games for now. Let's go to commercial quick. Then when we come back, we'll do some just NFL, college football, general news that we got going on. And then we'll wrap things up with Rock Hard Takes, Kelly's Kinky Rankings, and get you guys on with your Monday night. But sit tight for a quick little minute commercial break. Again, you're listening to Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at College Football Dogs, and we'll be right back.
On the College Football Dogs website, you'll find a main page that features some of our biggest and newest stories. Our conference pages for content related to your favorite team's conference. Our team store, where we have products that are available all year long, as well as gear available for a limited time only. Our podcast page, where you can see when one of the 12-plus College Football Dogs podcasts is streaming live on social media. Our subscription page, where you can join our Discord. If you're interested in becoming a contributor at College Football Dogs, email us at info@collegefootballdogs.com. If you enjoy any College Football Dogs content, we really do appreciate any donations you can make by visiting the donate page on our website or scanning the QR code here.
College Football Dogs, for the fans.
All right. Back again, Rock Hard Ball, part of the Dogs Media Network at College Football Dogs. Another reminder, like the commercial said, check out the website, collegefootballdogs.com. Lots of great articles coming out, day-to-day basis there. We got the season obviously starting here on Saturday, so we'll have game previews and recaps for pretty much every single game that involves the Power 4 team. So again, if you want a preview for your team's game or a recap, if you weren't able to catch it, go check it out. I know I'm going to be writing the Nebraska preview this week for the UTEP game. So I guess keep your eye out for that too. Getting back to the show here though, we got a couple different just news points we want to go over from both college football and the NFL. Really the only other college football, I guess, news that we have, and we kind of mentioned earlier that we're going to talk about it, is Dion. Again, making headlines. Sorry if we're annoying you with all the Dion talk. I know everybody talks about it, but it's hard not to when he does just stuff like this. So this time he was, at a press conference. Some guy from the Denver Post tried asking him a question, and he just basically told him, like, no, I'm not going to answer questions from you. And then he just moved on to other reporters that were just asking about nonsense. The guy literally said, can I just ask you a football question? Dion just brushed him off and started, like, he went to the next reporter, started asking about his, like, upcoming vacation or something like that, or his recent family vacation, like how that was. And so now the reporter, I don't have his name pulled up, so apologies there. But, I mean, you can easily find it. It's a fairly big story right now. He is now banned from asking Dion questions. So, like, when that, like, again, we already kind of talked about it, but it's like, when the hell is this shit going to stop? Like, it's getting ridiculous.
Yeah, like, you can't take zero criticism from the media.
Yeah,
like, that's your job.
This is like a home, like, newspaper too. So it's like obviously the Denver Post. So it's like a local, publication. That's the one, like, media outlet, not necessarily just the Denver Post, but those outlets, your local outlets, those are the ones that you should absolutely always take questions from. Yeah, there's some national reporter that just covers the Big 12. It's like a Texas Tech reporter. You're playing Texas Tech, and he asks something that kind of pisses you off. I can get, like, maybe giving him the cold shoulder a little bit. Yeah, that doesn't matter. But the guys who are covering your team week in and week out, they're at the practices, they're at every single press conference. Just answer their questions.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. Grow a pair of balls,
dude. You're a college football coach. Not every single question is going to be nice.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the whole problem that we had at Colorado the whole time.
Because when there are bad storylines surrounding your team, it's your job to answer them.
Exactly.
Slow down the chaos that's going on right now in the media.
Yeah, instead he just feeds it constantly by doing shit like this.
Yeah, it's like, hey, people are going to ask questions when you're trying to talk to Saudi Arabia for oil money for NIL.
Yeah, no, I don't get it. Again, it's hard to Okay, Cass says the Denver Post is the paper. Sorry. So in case anybody was wondering, but yeah, it's tough. You're not always gonna be sunshine and roses. I don't know if that's the actual saying, but something like that.
I was trying to get it out, but I didn't know what it was.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, and like you just mentioned, if you create the negative headlines, you're gonna have to answer for them. The media itself also created this problem though with Colorado because everybody was so high on them and just kissing his ass so much early on when he first got hired, up until again those first couple big wins, that when the sky came crashing down, like, yeah, no shit, people are gonna be like, oh, what happened? Like, Dion, like, you were supposed to come in, catapult the program out of the dumps and fix everything, and now you're not. So again, maybe Colorado will shut all our mouths up, and I'm sure we'll have to hear about it if they end up having a good season, but I don't think it's realistic at this point. We'll see though.
Yeah, if you're gonna be the loudest person in the room, expect people to want you to fail.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you are gonna fail and you're bad.
Yeah, if you're not good, not gonna happen. Another comment here. Kobe said someone's been in the Denver Zoo. Denver Post is in fact in Denver. So we got double confirmation now. Denver Post is in fact in Denver, and it is the paper. So we're good to go there. We know where the Denver Post is now. Kind of reminds me of the UCLA press conference. We are in LA. So yeah, good thing we got the guys out there doing some in-depth reporting for us. Okay, NFL. Let's get into some of that. We haven't talked that at all yet this episode. Obviously, we'll start talking a lot more NFL here in just a couple short weeks. We're getting closer and closer to NFL kickoff, so it'll be fun. We talked a lot about wide receiver drama this offseason, specifically with CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Ayuk. We finally have a resolution on one of them. Unfortunately, it's not the Brandon Ayuk one. I'd almost rather have that one because that one's more annoying in my opinion, because we just don't know what team he's going to be on. CD, though, we always knew it was going to happen. Jerry was going to give in and give him the contract. What happened? Jerry gave in, gave him the contract.
A massive one.
Gave him a really big one. 4 years, $136 million extension for CeeDee Lamb. I don't know. Do you have anything else you really want to add here? I mean, as
a fantasy owner, I'm happy to see it done. No, I didn't waste a second overall pick on him, but no, I mean, we talked about it. We knew it was going to get done.
Yeah. I know Nathan, one of my roommates, said he was in class earlier and there's somebody in front of him like doing a fantasy draft, and the CeeDee Lamb like news came across and he fist bumped. So could probably assume that guy drafted CeeDee Lamb. So
I will say funny. It's
congrats to you, random.
Whenever there's classmate. A massive contract like in the NFL, it's just like an immediate just compared to the NBA because it's always hilarious. It's like somebody's like, damn, they really gave him Isaiah Hartenstein.
Yeah, no, it is awesome because the NBA is so stupid with the money. Kobe, we'll let Bryce Wesley call in to ask him if Nebraska will be back this year on Thursday. Could look into it. Maybe get him a little call here. I know he's not a big fan of myself and my Nebraska takes because he thinks that I'm the reason somehow that Nebraska has been bad the past few years.
Like a bad voodoo guy.
Well, it's just like freshman year in particular. I tweeted a lot about is Nebraska back type thing, just screwing around. And then I did it again in the ensuing years because I knew it pissed him off. So yeah, he actually encouraged me to transfer. So it's, hurtful, but no worries. But yeah, if Bryce wants to come in and talk about how Nebraska's back, tell him, feel free. Back to some other NFL news. Not anything super massive, but some just interesting notes to kind of hit on. A little homer note that I wanted to just talk about. The Packers traded for Malik Willis for some reason. That was kind of
Did the terms come out on that?
Just a 7th rounder. So it's whatever, but I don't know. We saw him live. He's not particularly good. Kind of more concerning about Sean Clifford as to he was with the Packers for an entire year as a rookie, with him for an entire preseason, and they were like, we had to bring in Malik Willis. So you know what? Hopefully it ends up being a good move. I mean, obviously I don't ever want Jordan Love to go down, but in the event that he were to, hopefully Malik Willis can keep things together. I don't know. But
that's a big ass, bro.
that game that we watched in Kansas City was not the best showing.
No, it's the funniest thing ever. We were like, is Malik Willis playing well? Ooh, no, he's not.
Yeah. No, that was kind of sad because was that his first start?
I think so.
We were there. Yeah, and we were like, ooh, Malik Willis, a guy who was maybe supposed to go in the first round that year. Because that was the infamous just awful quarterback draft where Kenny Pickett won the first round, and then Malik Willis was next quarterback off the board. Desmond Ridder, just not a good looking class, but yeah, he's on the Packers now, so we'll see. Maybe he can make a name for himself as a backup. Get a couple Matt Flynn-esque games in there. Would be great to see, but again, Jordan Love, please don't go down. That is not the point here. Cass, we're not going to discuss this, but yeah, Liberty guy. So we're a no politics podcast, right, guys?
Yeah, sports.
Sports ball. We love sports ball. Okay. Getting into some other news. Juju Smith-Schuster's heading back to the Chiefs, which I thought was just kind of funny.
Yeah, he's got to be like the oldest 26-year-old on the planet, right? Or how old is
There's
he?
no way he's actually 26, right?
No, but it's joking because it's like he was so good for that little bit. Now it's like
he's got to be 29.
He's 27.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I was right. Yes.
Yeah. No, he is though, like, not so much like as an addition to the Chiefs. Like, we'll see, maybe, I guess, but he did have just one of the weirdest fall offs of all time. I mean, he was playing with psycho Antonio Brown.
That whole Steelers team, like when they started like 13-0, like Chase Claypool's the next great thing. Now he's so slow. Is he a tight end?
Yeah, he is a tight end.
He is a tight end now.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, downgrade. Juju Smith-Schuster was awesome, maybe because of his, social media presence as well. I mean, he was also very good for them.
And even still, it was like when he left, it was, or not, he was the number one guy, I think, for a second. But people were kind of like, he wasn't super bad that first year, like after like Antonio Brown was gone. They're like, maybe he just isn't quite like that alpha. Like, he doesn't have quite enough juice to be a number one guy, but could be a really good number two for like a lot of teams. And then all of a sudden he just fell off a cliff and it was just awful all of a sudden. So it was just really weird. I don't know. And
yeah,
so, again, he didn't get old.
I saw a lot of like Chiefs Twitter like saying like that did it to him. It's like, okay, we're like all the way back. It's like, okay, Juju Smith-Schuster's not going to do a lot. He fills a hole that you need for a little bit, but yeah, come on, like Juju Smith-Schuster is not doing anything to me. And
no, he's not the Juju that he once was at all. It's like I saw it literally for a second, and so Weezy mentioned fantasy there a second ago. I drafted Rashee Rice in fantasy. I thought I got him in a good spot. I don't remember what round it was, but it was later mid rounds. And then like I saw Juju Smith-Schuster got signed, and there was like a half second where like I kind of forgot that Juju Smith-Schuster isn't good anymore.
Like,
and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, oh wait, he's like probably not going to play. So it's kind of funny. You never know. Maybe he will end up getting a little bit more action than we think he will.
He just screams.
But he was kind of middling for. Where was he even last? Patriots? Is that where he was last year?
Yeah, I think so.
Hurt.
No, yeah, I think he was hurt.
Oh, was he hurt all year?
He blew his knee.
Well, he was technically on the Patriots, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was there for like 2 years, I think.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, thought we'd mention it because it's just kind of funny. He's just another one of those guys that just, what if, I guess. All right, a couple more pieces of news that maybe are a little bit more relevant. Nick Chubb, who obviously is coming off that gruesome leg injury, for a while there, it was looking very positive that he might like be back fairly early in the year. Now the Browns came out and said that he will miss at least the first 4 games of the season. So that sucks.
I mean, not surprising. His knee went backwards.
Yeah, no, good point. Yeah, no, not necessarily surprising, but it does suck for just Nick Chubb. Obviously, very, very good running back, one of the top in the league before he went down. And now it's like, again, with a knee injury like that, especially for a running back, it's just like
tough to bounce.
What's he going to come back like? Who knows? It was very evident. Again, we'll go back to fantasy when we were drafting. It's like, what round did he go? Like 13?
No, he went 9.
Oh, he did go that early?
Yeah, 9th round, I think. Maybe 10th. It might have been 10th.
It felt really late, I guess, to me.
But the roommates today were like, dang, like they got Chubb in the 10th. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
His knee is non-existent.
He bounced back from that, though, in Georgia. I mean, he almost, like, it was almost identical.
Oh, yeah. And then, like, it's pretty much like the reason he ended up, like, not being a first-round draft pick is because of the injury. But yeah, he bounced back. So we'll see if we can do it again. Obviously, it's a pretty crowded running back room in Cleveland. I think we had like 3 Cleveland running backs get drafted in that draft, and like Kareem Hunt, he wasn't even one of them. I know he's not what he used to be either, but I mean, he was still not bad like within the last year or two. So crowded running back room. So I guess they should be okay for the time being until Chubb comes back. But always root for a guy to come back healthy. So we'll see. Hopefully the recovery goes well. Final storyline we got going on here. Complete 180 from what we heard early on in the offseason, and it just proves to not read into too much as to what you see early on. Obviously, the sky was falling. Joe Milton was apparently better than Drake May, and everybody was kind of freaking out. Now, Gerard Mayo, head coach of the Patriots, came out and said that she said straight up Drake May has outplayed Jacoby Brissett. And Jacoby Brissett, as we all know, is not necessarily a bad quarterback.
No.
A solid bridge guy.
Good filler piece.
Yeah, can play some snaps when you're trying to get a young guy like May ready. Didn't name a starting quarterback yet. He said there's other outside factors to consider, which I think is basically just saying that we don't really know if we just want to throw May out there week one.
It's probably like an upper management situation of whether they will let us throw May out there week one.
So, I mean, again, I'm always just for like coaches do what coaches do. Like, I'm not firmly in either camp of like sit them or play them. Like, I think if they're ready to play, you think they're the best quarterback on the team, and you think that it's not going to hurt their development for them to play, put them out there. If they have the best chance to win games, put them out there and play. But if it's just one of those situations where it's like they've both been bad, and May's just been slightly less bad.
So we're going to protect him.
Then protect him, play Brissett. So we'll see what ends up shaking out there with the Patriots. Also kind of funny with like the rookie quarterback versus maybe like a veteran type of thing. Zach Wilson, after Bo Nix gets named the starting quarterback, comes out and just balls out. So that's pretty funny. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah,
but
did you see the clips
too of ridiculous
when they talked to the QBs about it?
No.
So Wilson went on. He's like, "Yeah, Bo Nix deserved it. I'm really happy for him. Really proud of him. I think Peyton's put him in the best spot to succeed." And then Stidham came in. He's like, "I know I'm a starter. I know." I wish we had the clip here, but
I did not.
It is total 180. Like, do you think Zach Wilson's kind of the douche? Like real mature. Just said he's really happy for Bo Nix. Going to play well. Immediately comes like Stidham, who's like, "I'm a starting quarterback in this league, and I know it." It's like, no, you're not.
Well, I think it kind of just almost goes back to the fact where we kind of talked about a little bit when Nix got named the starting quarterback. Like Zach Wilson, I feel like at this point is almost like probably like a little borderline like scared to play.
I think he's just fully bought into like the Chase Daniels role.
Yeah, like I think he's just kind of done with it. Like obviously he just got dragged in that New York media for years. And then again, you mentioned last episode, I think, or whatever, whenever we talked about Nix, it was like he finally was gonna have like that year. It's like, oh, like I can relax, I can develop, I can learn from one of the greatest to ever play the game. Nope. Get back in, Zach Wilson, and have everybody be pissed at you just because you have to come in because our future Hall of Fame quarterback got hurt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's been in a shitty situation, but it is impressive, that he was, mature, like you just said. I guess I didn't see it, but yeah, good to see. So, never know. Maybe he will turn into kind of just a good bridge guy one day.
I'd buy into it.
Maybe there's hope for Zach.
Yeah, the bust allegations your whole life are gonna suck. But
yeah,
Chase Daniels made a lot of money.
Not
playing a lot of football.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Jacoby Brissett right now, like. Again, guy just kind of bounces around.
But he gets asked, I swear to God, like once every 5 years to like take over a whole season.
Yeah, that's true. Chase Daniels didn't really have that.
No. He'd come in and be awful, and everyone's like, it's Chase
Daniels. But he always have like one game every like 3 years where it's like Chase Daniels. So
are we back to
maybe one day. All right, that's gonna kind of do, I think, for NFL college football news. Not a ton going on still, but again, college football week 1, official week 1 is this weekend. Yeah, NFL here now in a week and a half. So closer and closer here to constant just football and real storylines that we can break down. So it should be fun. That kind of does it for the real part of the episode. Let's get into the fun part of the episode. Rock Hard Takes and Kelly's Kinky Rankings. Obviously, first up, we will have Rock Hard Takes.
Bone up, folks. It's time for Rock Hard Takes.
All right. So Rock Hard Takes. Little shout out to my brother Kellen. Had his first kid. So congratulations to the new parents, Kellen and Katie, and to Bowden Jack.
Congratulations.
Making his appearance. So we're going to do Rock Hard Takes of nephew activities because I'm now officially reached Unc status. So we're going to do basically like fun activities to do with your nephew. Mom, I know you texted me earlier. If you're still listening, might be a little PG-13, but we're gonna let it rip because Rock Hard Ball gonna go hard here. Who had first pick?
I think it's your category. You have to go first.
Oh God.
Oh, I have to go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the Unc.
All right. So for first overall pick, we'll go with getting to lay him out for the first time in a family football game. It's always a great time. My uncles were all quite a bit older than me. So that was kind of almost more like an old cousin thing for me, but I'll still be young enough, like when he's old enough to like take a hit that I can lay one on him. So I'll go with that. That should be a good time and a good bonding experience right away. So
all right. I'm gonna do throwing batting practice to him from a young age, being able to do that. And then Show him Tavon Austin highlight reel.
Okay, good one. Very good pick there.
Only one.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. The Tavon Austin highlight reel.
So good.
I mean, you kind of hope that he just discovered that on his own too, but
well, yeah, but if I can get him,
if you can get
him to watch it,
yeah, just like
early.
age of 2,
yeah,
might turn him into some type of dog, yeah. Okay, next one, I'll go with one that's like maybe not as much directed towards like the actual kid, but maybe towards the parents. Giving like really annoying gifts to just like really piss off the parents, like like those chickens, that, like those ones. Yeah, that would just great thing to do. So yeah. I have 2. Yeah, I have 2. Okay. All right. Let's see. Next one, we'll go with. Okay, I haven't kind of put it off because PG, but sneaking a beer, buying a beer. Don't want mom and dad to find out. He comes up one day, he goes, "Hey, I think you could buy me a case of beer." Yeah, got you, man. So
okay,
go with that.
Ooh, I got 2 more. I'm gonna give him a long lecture on the greatness of LeBron James.
Okay.
And why he's the GOAT. And then 2, I'm gonna do my best to explain Watergate to the kid.
Watergate. All right. Yeah. All right.
It's a big moment, man.
All right. I'm just no further comment on that, but yeah, go Uwees. All right. Let's see here. I have 2 more and then I'm done. Or no, I have the last one.
I think you have 1 more.
Have you already done 5?
No, I have 1 more.
Yeah, because whoever goes second
you
goes last, right?
I think so. Yeah. Oh, wait, yes, you have 2.
Yeah.
No, we should have 1.
What?
Yeah.
I should have 1?
No, you should have 2.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
I have 1.
Okay, so I have 2. All right. All right, I'm gonna go with stories from when you like his dad and like your other siblings were like kids. Or like not even like necessarily kids, but just like even like young adults, like just funny stories. Because that is definitely one of my favorite things about like, when I'm just around with my uncles, my dad, all just bullshitting. Like they just bring up one of the craziest stories like that you've like ever heard from like when they were all like whatever 20.
Yep.
And it's just like, Jesus Christ, you get mad at me for doing like little shit like this, and then you guys were doing this when you were young. So yeah, I'll go with that. And then last one. Let's go with like giving them shit like about girls. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, because like how like when you're young, like all your like older siblings and like your cousins and your uncles like will constantly be like, just giving you shit about girls. And it's like you're not like a little awkward stage when you're young.
Yeah, and then you tense up.
Yeah, it's like
shut up.
I don't like girls. Like, yeah, no, like stop talking to me about that. So yeah, just making the little fucker uncomfortable. Yeah, just really giving him some shit. But not in that way. Disclaimer. But yeah, so that'll be my last pick. And yeah, go ahead, Weez.
Last one, explaining to him how the moon landing was fake and propaganda for the Cold War.
Ooh, Weez the conspiracy theorist. Didn't know that you were a fake moonlander.
Just rot that into his brain.
Yeah.
Comes home, asks dad. He's like, God damn it, Uncle Weez again.
Better yet, ask the teachers.
Yeah, then it's like sounds like it was Uncle Weez drinking again.
Weezy, not again. Okay, let's go with some comments here. We got some good picks here from a couple of the other new uncles, Cass and Kobe. Kobe said, teach him curse words. Always a good one.
That's fun.
Yeah, that was a good one. Real quick, I guess. What's up, Diggs? By the way, new listener. Shout out. Good to have you here. Cass said, throwing a baseball/football gradually harder until you whip one and he cries. Another good one. Cass also said, beat him in 1-on-1 until he cries. This feels really directed at what Cass did to me when I was young, but we'll keep going here. Kobe said, watch episodes 1 through 6 of Star Wars with him. Not a Star Wars fan?
No, for sure. I was, for some reason, I was thinking like, great call leaving out 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No. Kobe's not no slouch.
I would just do 2 and 3.
2 and 3?
Yeah.
Attack of the Clones is
probably
the worst movie.
No, you need the clones for the Revenge of the Sith. But that's the only 2 you need.
You don't.
Prequels are better than the originals. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really feel strongly one or the other, but I feel like it's pretty wild. They'll just leave. I don't think you should leave any of the first 6 out. I think they should all.
Yeah, I think they should all watch. I do think Revenge of the Sith is the greatest one.
Yeah. It's probably.
But like, no, like.
Yeah, I mean,
the originals are still better than the Phantom Menace and Attack.
By far. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Cass said, tell him about the 90s. Feels pretty similar to my pick. Obviously, it wasn't the 90s, but the 2000s, 2010s. Kobe said, get drunk and tell him how good I was at high school sports. Cass, dunk him in the pool until he cries.
I think that's child abuse.
Kobe said, tie him to a tree. Also happened to me. Not a great experience.
That happened to you?
Yeah, they tied me to a tree for just like hours. My mom came home and I was tied to a tree.
Oh my!
So yeah,
that's a leak.
That's really traumatizing. That's really bad.
That's why I'm so hard. Yeah. Colin, do you know this person? Mullen.
Yeah. That's actually one of my friends back home.
All right. Shout out to
the fuck. Yeah.
Mullen.
I did not think you'd be on there. Yeah.
All right. Also, his name's actually Cletus. Also, you don't have to tell Cletus. Shut up.
Club.
Oh, because he's talking about the Star Wars. Yeah.
Shut up. Yeah. My fault.
And Kobe said, and the Clone Wars animated show. So last little Star Wars thing.
Actually, that might be number 1. I do love Revenge of the Sith, but that animated TV show is so good.
Yeah.
So good.
And then also a classic rock hard ball tradition here. They're asking Mullen to get in the trenches. For those who don't know, the real comment trenches are on Twitter. Little bit a little bit softer and not so aggressive tonight with the Twitter comments, but when we get some of the other guys in here on a good Thursday night, usually it can get pretty hectic in the Twitter comments.
You gotta watch out for Tony, man.
You just ask Sammy J. He's been drugged through by the laundry army, as he calls it. So
I think they won. I think it's over. We have not seen Sam
Sammy J has not commented in quite a while.
It's been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's ran.
He went to France and never came.
Yeah. Make sure you next time you know like Sam J's gonna be on, you gotta make sure like we know so we can get Tone and like Eric on those guys. Because otherwise we can't have Sammy J in here without getting bullied. It just wouldn't be right. And yeah, Cash reiterated the point, commenting on YouTube is weak shit. So all right, let's get done out of here with the Rock Hard takes. But before we go for good on the show, let's get on with most people's either favorite or most hated segment, Kelly's Kinky Rankings.
In a world of politics, war, bad beats, and watching your favorite sports teams come up short, sometimes you just need to hear a guy rank random shit. Enter your hero, Colin Kelly, here today for another edition of Kelly's Kinky Rankings.
All right, starting off with, it is the first day of school for us, so I feel like the only best thing to do is do a syllabus week ranking, and syllabus, yeah. Silly week or just welcome back week. I mean, it's pretty easy. So number 5 is going to be a little bit of a hot take, but I'm just going to go straight up sorority waiver claim.
Oh, here we go. Start off hot.
Okay, so I feel like one of my favorite.
Spelled waivers wrong.
Yeah, it's I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it makes it even better. So off the bat, it's fun meeting new people. So like meeting new sorority girls and just like people in general. As a freshman, really great time. As a junior, it makes it even more fun because I just get to meet new people over and over again. It's like Groundhog Day. The first week of school is always Groundhog Day because you just meet the same exact people but different. So sorority waiver claim, you might meet your wife, and you might start a beautiful family 2 years from now. Who knows?
Never know.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with sorority waiver claim. Sydney Sweeney, it might be her. I don't know.
Yeah, Kobe said a great graphic here to start things off. He's asking, where's Eric? Because Eric is constantly asking why we don't include like Sydney Sweeney graphics more on the show. So
sweater pups.
Yeah, he's constantly asking about it. So Eric, you're missing out, man. All right.
Yeah. So I had to put her in there. So we're going with that 5. 4 this week. I'm really excited to be playing Creed Yammered.
Yeah.
So I got really big into Creed probably 2 summers ago, and I've been waiting just for this one semester. So really, really fired up for the syllabus week to play some Creed at 5 in the morning.
I already got kind of a head start there. This past weekend at the bars, I was infiltrating the touch tunes with some Creed. Yeah, so getting the people right. So yeah,
I mean, it's only right. They're at the probably biggest comeback of any rock group. Oh my god, Creed's back, baby. I mean, they're on tour right now too. I think they have a show in Kansas. Might have to go to that. But yeah, syllabus week, Creed. Number 3.
Love Creed, but I'll never drive 3 hours to see Creed.
Really? Well, let's go there.
No, I'm good. If they were in like Lincoln, I'd maybe think.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
I'm honestly not like the biggest like just concert guy in general. So
yeah,
I always say yes to them, but then like
there's a fairly like especially for like prices of concerts, like they just gotten so ridiculous. Like if it's somewhat cheap, then yeah, I'd probably drive for like 3 hours to see somebody I'd like. But I mean, if tickets are $200, I'm just not driving 3 hours.
Creed is easily. It has to be like $50.
Can't be too.
It has to be. $50.
Well, then it's like a 3-hour show. Beers are $13.
Okay, yeah. You have to buy like $100 worth of beer.
Yeah.
Not ideal. Not ideal situation.
Number 3 is more of a personal preference. My first day of college, I didn't know that when it starts with a 0, it's in the basement. So I spent an hour walking around. This actually happened in 2 different colleges too. So this happened to me twice.
I feel like if you're on the first floor and it starts with a 1, you should.
But I'm like, am I in the fucking wrong building, or like is that like my like section class group? I got really confused. So I spent 2 hours trying to find my class. This was freshman year. I met a very, very nice girl, and we ended up talking for a fairly long time. It's all gone to shit now because that was 2 years ago.
Okay.
But
so you did not find your future wife?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But I feel like that's getting lost on your way to class Literally, just look at anyone in the room, just pick them out, and just be like, I don't know where I'm going. And that's how you make great friends.
I'd pack it up and leave.
Really? just like,
all right,
just like fucking look around, start crying.
I'd be like, all right, 0 for 1 on the day.
I fucking hate college.
My favorite too is like freshman year when you got to whip out Google Maps to like just find the building. And you put it on the walking mode.
Dude,
it's like
I still do that.
You feel like such a dork, but at the same time, it's like everybody does it. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
You just got to stack up. Otherwise, you'll just wander forever. Because especially like here, like I mean, some are not as bad as others, but some of the buildings here are pretty poorly marked. Like there's like one little metal sign that's like behind a bush.
Yeah, or they're broken, or they're just ripped off, and there's no fucking sign for the building.
Yeah. Can't remember ever doing that.
I know some people who don't like the signs here. I will though say we got a segment here. What's going on with the Fortnite photo for this one?
Yeah, I was just gonna
freshman year I went home and I just played Fortnite. So after the whole stick, I just went home and played Fortnite. I mean, I can't really find like a photo.
After you got lost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. After I succeeded getting lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good thing you explain that because you definitely weren't going to explain that.
Yeah. No, it would have been the Fortnite. I mean, I can't find a photo of some guy getting lost. Like it's kind of hard to explain. So just fucking Fortnite.
Okay.
All right, 2, college football Saturday.
All right.
Everyone's excited. Everyone's back on campus. I mean, it's a holiday. First college football game of the year. Cheer for the home team. God. And I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
It is. Yeah, it is such a drop. It's like not even just like the actual like football being back, but just the actual like life and atmosphere just on campus. And I mean, really just in town is just so much different on college football Saturdays and really just football season in general. Everything just feels brighter and like just better.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Everything is just so much more lively.
Yeah. Lincoln turns into a major city by a fucking million. Yeah, it gets packed. So I feel like it's a little slow going to the week, and then Saturday hits you, and then you're like, every street is closed off.
Mm-hmm.
It's block party everywhere and tailgating. It's really fun.
Something in the air.
Yeah, yeah. And it's college football back. So love it. And then number 1, this one's pretty cake, Natty Light.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the cheapest
Natty Light and a basement with LEDs
and like a weird amount of humidity.
Yeah.
Just
sticky.
It's like you can't walk.
Sticky walls.
It's just people are just all over.
The air is heavy. You're like,
I think I will never lose my love for natural light, even past college. I mean, yeah, I'll be like 25. I'm like, you know what? I might pay the extra $5 and get a better beer, but something will hit me, and I'm like, oh my god.
Not me. I've already outgrown the Natty Light.
30 beers.
I'll still take it. I'll still take it out of a keg. It still works.
Oh yeah, no, that's
so like
way better.
I don't think I voluntarily went and bought a case of natural light. Maybe ever.
Actually. I bought one a couple of days ago.
I think I bought one, and it wasn't that. It was the Natter Day, which after 6, it's like
Natter Day gets. I think Natter Day is a universal crash out. You take Natter Day, you will end up dead, or you kill someone.
No, it's definitely one where you like need.
It's really bad.
You need to only have like a few of those. Like that's just not. Oops, my bad.
I mean, the list is over. Yeah, but
we'll keep it up for the people.
But, okay, yeah, fair enough. But Natty Light, it's just more of like a reminiscent thing. I'll always come back to college, and that's gonna be my beer choice for the first couple of weeks, just because it's free. For the most
it's not
part.
always gonna be free.
It's not always gonna be free, but to me, as I am a fraternal man, I could just get free Natty Light everywhere. It's awesome.
It's true.
It could be free if you make some poor decisions.
Yeah, moms. Yeah, moms.
Moms. Shout out moms.
Shout out moms. Yeah.
All right. That'll wrap up Kelly's Ski Rankings. Let's get to some of the comments here that we had going on. Yeah, Kobe said worst part of the show. Sad. But don't worry.
Wow. That's
don't worry, Cletus. I think
it's really bad.
I think it's out of a place of love, hate. He said you being into Creed is not surprising. Could you see that? Could you see people seeing you as being into Creed?
I mean, who the fuck hates Creed, huh?
A lot of people.
I mean, yeah, but like that's because it's like, oh, it's Christian rock. No, it's grunge. It's awesome grunge.
All right.
Yeah.
And then Cass kind of calling you out here, says love the move of getting into Creed 2 years ago and waiting until now to play it at a party.
Yeah, well, you have to get the crowd ready. People weren't ready back then, so I'm here to ride the lightning. People love it now. So
do you think you helped start the movement?
No. I was definitely a follower back then.
Okay.
But I feel like now, yeah, slowly growing on people.
All right.
It's more open.
All right, a little humble there.
Yeah.
Also, Kobe had a great idea here. This could be a banner. Cletus on campus, aka Cock. You just walk around and interview people.
Holy shit! Yeah,
that could make for a great little segment.
Yeah.
Just get the best clips that you had from the week, and then throw them up on the show. Just ask people sports questions, or
we are right
really
next
whatever the hell you want.
Right next to O Street, so I could just walk on over.
Well, that's not campus.
You can count it.
Well, yeah, but I think the whole point is like campus. Cletus on campus.
Oh God. Yeah. Okay.
I'm not saying you do this at night when people are just like out drunk. Like,
I'd rather do that though, because I feel if I could confront someone that's like
do a little both.
Some freshman that's new here, and they like same as before, cry. They cry because I walk up to them and talk to them. They think I'm like.
That makes great television.
Yeah. I mean, if it's like more like a news thing where I have like a cameraman following me and I just interview people,
I think you would also have to be in a suit.
Yeah.
We'll workshop it. We'll
Okay,
workshop it.
Table that.
Yeah, could be good. Go ask people their opinion on the Husker games for like Monday's show or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk about
it. Lauren.
What? I don't know. I'm not as far as you are.
What are we doing with this? Kelly misses Lauren. Hey, Drew Bob, go back to bed, buddy. What does that? What does that mean?
He also said Kelly's sad, so yes.
I don't think I'm not. Dude, it's the first day of school.
Cass said that
I'm doing great.
Cass said, "Sorry, Cooper, but you will stop buying Natty Lights. You don't think it will happen to you?" It's probably true.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, Miller's beer of choice, but like Natty, if it's there, I'm gonna get it.
No, you're gonna outgrow it, but
I mean, I totally will.
I mean, you will.
But I'm also.
I think it's like
I'm also in college, and I'm like, I'll fucking take whatever's the cheapest.
Once you hit like a certain age,
all right. Well, yeah,
wink, wink, Colin.
20,
that's when you all grow Natty Light.
Okay, fine.
All right. Kobe said, "Got to be campus borders." I guess Kobe's the official czar of the cock interviews.
Campus borders. All right.
Game day interviews must be included, and full suit or tux.
I think a full on like 3-piece suit, like vest included,
bow tie.
We could do.
I
am college game day, and I'm here to interview everyone.
So no one will believe that, but yeah. You saying you are college game day? Like you are college game day?
Not actually, but I am college game day.
No, you are Rock Hard Ball.
I'm not Home Depot.
We're bigger than game day.
Yeah, I'm Rock Hard Ball game day, not Home Depot game day.
Okay, fair enough.
Play that off.
Clarifying.
All right, and then finally, your buddy from home is a terrible list. So
yep, okay.
Can't even get love from the hometown boys.
Yeah,
tough luck.
Whatever.
Tough luck. All right, that'll do it for today's edition of Rock Hard Ball. Thank you guys all for tuning in. As usual, make sure you check out the socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, all that stuff. Again, I haven't said it in a while, but I'll kind of point it out again. Specifically, if you haven't liked the YouTube, or not YouTube, Facebook, please do that so we can stream to Facebook again. That would be awesome. We're slowly getting a little bit closer to that. I think we're over like 60 now. We need to get to 100 so we can stream to Facebook. So it'd be very helpful if everybody did that. Kobe wants an official Bowden shout out, even though I already did it. Shout out Bowden again, the nephew from Rock Hard Takes. Yeah, there you go, Kobe. One for the road. But that'll do it. We'll see you guys on Thursday. We'll be previewing, some real week 1 football and recapping the latest news as per usual. So that's going to do it. We'll see you next time.